Hey Sagittarius, Dark Dove Tarot here. Hope you're doing fantastic. This is your January mid-2020 read. Again, this is your mid-January 2020 read for Sagittarius. This is a general read, so keep that in mind. Hopefully it resonates with majority of you, but you want to check your sun, moon, and rising, as some months those may resonate with you more than others. Hold on just a second. You have like 20 cards fly out all at once. All right, so again, Sagittarius, this is your mid-month read. Let me know what you guys think. I generally just get the one monthly read done just because of my 9 to 5 and private reads, etc. But I'm trying to add a little more content, so let me know how it resonates with you guys. I'm going to keep this kind of open. Usually my reads are about love or reconciliation. I just want to kind of keep this open, see what the cards have to say, without having any, direction in what we're looking at, and letting the cards just kind of speak for themselves for the rest of January. So, again, let's see what's going on for, gosh, your cards are flying everywhere, for January 2020 for Sagittarius. Hope you guys are doing amazing. I cannot believe it's already the middle of January. I'm like, wasn't it just the holidays? This is insane. All right, a few more cards, and then we'll pull your theme of the end of the month, and then we'll get started here. So, Sagittarius, what's going on for Sagittarius for January 2020? Again, your cards are like flying across the room, so a lot of energy here. Hopefully that reflects in the read. All right, 2 more cards, then your theme of the end of the month, and then we'll get started. All right. What's going on for Sagittarius for January 2020? And what's going on for Sag for the rest of January for 2020? All right. As I make a total mess of the cards. All right, let's pull your theme and then we'll get started. All right. What is Sag's theme for the end of the month? What is Sag's theme for the end of the month? Oh, 2 of Swords. It's actually been coming up quite a bit in a lot of reads, decisions. I think, obviously, it's probably cliche to say, but it's true, even though it is a little cliche. 2 of Swords is decision-making, but it's not being certain, the uncertainty of having to make the decision, what choice is right, even though a lot of times our gut or our instinct or whatnot will kind of guide us. Even the universe will give us a hint like, hey, this is unhealthy, or hey, this doesn't feel right. You know what I'm talking about. But the 2 of Swords is like you're binding yourself in not making the decision, even if you know what the decision should be. The 2 of Swords is also like a stalemate, right? So if you don't make a decision, it's not like the situation is going to go away. So whether it's an ex, whether it's a new lover, whether it's a job, if you don't make this decision, it's still dangling there. So for some of you, this is just about getting closure, or this is about, making a decision on a career move, something that it's time. And like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with 2020, because I think a lot of people are coming in saying, this is the year, or like we always do in the beginning of the year, this is when I make changes. And so I think that's why this card is showing itself a lot, because people are like, okay, time to finally like wipe the slate clean or move forward with something that I've been wanting to. The next card you have is your current position coming into the end of January. This is through the 15th through about the 31st. You have the 7 of Cups. All right. 7 of Cups is about temptation. It's about wishful thinking, kind of dreaming, but it's also about having options and choices. So I feel like several of you have new coming in, and several of you have had old coming in, going, coming in, going, coming in. So I feel like you do have a lot of options here, Sagittarius. Like if you want to jump on the bandwagon of something new, a new lover, new career, there's an option there for that. There's a choice there for that. Just make sure with the 7 of Cups that it's not about temptation, that, it's thoroughly thought through, because sometimes the 7 of Cups is like, that looks really good, but then when you see it on paper, it's not as good. Or when you get to know that person, maybe they're all talk and their actions don't speak. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is kind of what you need, because you need to know that there are other people out there versus this ex that I feel like comes into your life when they feel like it and then leaves, comes back, leaves, and you're just kind of over it. And again, here's that decision that needs to be made. But the 7 of Cups is saying there's other options out there for you, Sagittarius. So if you're feeling like, well, if I cut the cord on this old, I'll never find new, I don't think that's the case. And I think some of you have already started to experience the new, which may make it easier to drop the old if that's your intention. The next card you have is the Queen of Wands, which is confidence. This is how you're feeling coming into the end of the month. So I feel like you are confident, even though you know a decision needs to be made, even though you may not be sure of how to do it or what you're going to do exactly, or you're battling head and heart. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is very, very confident, just knows what they want, is going to go after what they want. So even if you're a little bit in your head about it, I think that towards the end of the end of the month, going into February, you're going to build more and more confidence in the direction that you want to go with this situation. Could be a few situations too. I'm getting that there's some of you that have options in a lot of different realms, not just love, not just careers. Could be moving, somebody's moving. I'm getting movement for whatever reason, and not just forward movement, but like moving residencies or moving states or towns or houses, etc. Now, in your distant past, you have the Strength card, which is Leo's card. So you could be dealing with a Leo or have Leo placements in your chart. But the Strength card is about strength. It's about enduring. It's about, getting in there and persevering regardless. And the universe is bringing this up because it's kind of saying, hey, Sagittarius, you've been through situations, tough decisions, things that you've had to face. And in the end, you came out strong. You came out, I love that saying. I don't use it often, but occasionally, and I felt myself wanting to use it a lot this month, that saying, you fall in the mud and you come out smelling like molasses. Like, no matter what crap is thrown your way right now, it's not more than you can handle. And it's almost like the universe is saying, you've been through worse, or you've recovered from worse, or you've always come through the flip side stronger than ever. So the universe is reminding you, like, hey, remember this past time, or remember this past decision you were unsure about, or you weren't feeling confident in it. You came out stronger than ever. Okay, the next card you have is your immediate past. So yeah, you have the Two of Swords twice here. Again, the Two of Swords decision making, it could be head, heart. It could be the angel, the devil type situation. It could be, your heart says one thing, your mind says another thing. You've got the angel on one shoulder saying, you know what to do here, and the devil saying, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we have the confidence to do it. So I really do feel like, but I feel like this is decision between two people, two work situations, because again, these options, these choices you have. And I worry, the reason I say the angel and devil is because I feel like there is that little bit of temptation off of the Seven of Cups, that maybe this person that isn't good for you, or maybe even a new lover coming in, is a little too good to be true. But you're kind of going, but I'm really tempted. It's really hard to cut this completely off, or it's really hard not to want to get involved in this. So again, a decision needs to be made. I think a lot of you thought that it would have already been made by now. Like, you would have already cut and dry. And I think some of you thought, oh, I did make the decision. But then this person comes back in, or a new person comes in that maybe, you've been talking to or dating, or a few people that you've been dealing with, and you're just tempted, like, one more time to hang out with them. There's definitely something that you're like, I know I need to cut this out of my life. But I'm like keeping my own hands bound and making that decision. The next card you have is the Wheel of Fortune card. Wheel of Fortune is about divine timing. So this is all coming together in a succinct, if you don't make this decision, normally the Two of Swords says, like I said before, it's still going to sit there. It's going to be stagnant. It becomes a stalemate where it doesn't go anywhere. There's no closure. It's still there on the back of your mind, or they're still contacting you, or whatever the case may be. The Wheel of Fortune, though, kind of tells me that at some point you're not going to have a choice, because either this person's going to disappear, as far as like they're not going to bother you anymore, new or old. It definitely, the Wheel of Fortune is like divine timing, unplanned changes, things you can't control. So the Wheel of Fortune is saying, look, there's something out there that's going to happen that, okay, if you don't get closure on the situation and you ignore this person, then they're going to be gone and may find somebody else, or vice versa. If they're ignoring you, you'll move on. You have other options. You'll find somebody new. So you may not end up in the stalemate in the fact that there's that you have to make a decision anymore. You may end up just in the fact that there's no closure. It just kind of, even though I said it doesn't usually go away, it's not that this will go away. It'll still be on your mind a little bit, but you won't have another choice. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of like the universe giving you a nudge, or, you know, taking or giving something that you don't have any control over. The next card you have is your immediate future. So throughout the rest of January, and you have Judgment. Judgment is looking back, meditating. I think you've been doing a lot of that. I think you'll continue to do a lot of that for the next couple of weeks. That's why this decision has been so hard. Some of you are going, but there were great times, wonderful times. And then on the flip side, you're going, but there were some pretty crappy times. And then some of you are like, I'm ready for new love to come in. And then some of you find somebody or meet people and you realize you're not ready, or that this situation needs to completely be dialed out before you can dial in with somebody new. The next card you have is anything tangible throughout the month. Yeah, so you guys, I mean, for the rest of January, there's still going to be a little chaos, a little drama, I'm not going to lie, because the Five of Wands is about a chaos or a dramatic situation. It's about getting your priorities in check and figuring out what it is you want. So I think that you came into 2020 knowing exactly what you wanted, and then something happened. Somebody old contacted you, or you met somebody new, or both, and or a job change came in and you're trying to settle that or settle a new home, because for whatever reason, like I said, they're telling me movement, but like moving residencies. So I think there's just been a lot of things that you've had to deal with coming in 2020. You were kind of hoping to like ease into or coast into, but I think most of you knew that wasn't the case, that it wasn't going to be just easy peasy. You know, you knew there was going to be some chaos attached to it. Nothing you can't handle. Again, you're opposite the Strength card here, so you'll handle it just fine. It's just you were hoping for like a clean break, clean new year, and it's a little messy coming into January. The next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the rest of the year. I keep doing that throughout the rest of January. Maybe this is time relevant for you guys, and maybe this is something that already happened or something that's going to happen later in the future. Because for whatever reason they keep saying end of the year. Anyways, the Star card is Aquarius's card. So you could be dealing with an Aquarius, or you could have Aquarius placements in your chart. But the Star card is about faith and hope. It's about having the strength. So this is you knowing that regardless, you'll get through this. Regardless, there is, regardless, you're not, like, there may be chaos, but through this comes clarity and the Star card. Meaning you'll reach the decision that you need to reach, and you'll do it with confidence and knowing that you have other options. The other thing too is, you know, you can, the part about the Seven of Cups is if you're not ready to make the decision, or if you want to see what's going on with the ex because they've contacted you, but you also want to see what's going on with this new person, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Because if you're not together with somebody, it's not as though you're cheating or you're doing anything wrong. You can still see what's out there and still see what your ex has to say. Does that make sense? And that may give you clarity as to which direction you want to go. Next card you have are your hopes and fears for the outcome. And your hope is the Fool, which is new. This is the beginning of the major arcana. The Fool is jumping headfirst into something new, starting a new cycle, putting all your passion into it. You want something to be passionate about. You want something with a clean slate, whether this is with an old person and starting anew, or whether this is a new person and starting completely something with no memories or negative thoughts attached to the situation. The Fool definitely says, this is what you're hoping for, a new beginning, regardless of who, what, when, where. You just kind of want that clean slate. You want something to feel passionate about. You want something that I'm jumping in full force. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, this is the direction I'm going. I think the Wheel is going to help you decide that. The next card you have is your outcome for the rest of the month, and you have the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is a fear of victory. It's thinking something's going to happen that's not, or it's thinking, like somebody says, I miss you, I love you, I want to be with you for the rest of my life, and then you don't hear from them for 5 days, and you're like, that doesn't exactly sit well with me, or that doesn't exactly, make me feel like you're being completely, like, they're saying one thing and their actions are telling you something completely different. So again, I feel like the universe is going to help you see through, whether it's new or old, what's going on, whatever the situation is for you. There's going to be a fear of victory, because there's going to be a, oh, I miss you, I love you, I want to get back together. And then again, like I said, a disappearing act, or there's a new person coming in who's like, I really want to get to know you. I really want to, take a chance on you. And then they're like online dating, still talking to like 12 other people. So you get my drift. The Five of Swords just says, be careful. Somebody's going to show you their true colors. Now, you have the High Priestess clarifying the outcome. And the High Priestess is a spiritual card. So this is saying, again, what I was talking about. Let the universe take the wheel. Because that's exactly what's going to happen here. It's going to be like bold, in your face. Like, no doubt about it. You can't, like, you can't blink this one away. Or you can't, you know, turn a blind eye. It's going to be completely obvious as to what the best choice is that you can make. However, it'll be interesting to see if this person takes you seriously, whether it's new or old, because they're coming back in again for another go round. And that's going to be up to you if this is something you want to, you know, this is something you want to entice. What's interesting is I almost feel like once you start seeing somebody new, or once you start, oh, shoot, like 10 cards just dropped. Once you start seeing somebody new, I just have this feeling like if you start dating or talking to somebody new, that's the right timing as to when this other person comes around. Does that make sense? So maybe you're like, okay, you know, I'm done with the ex. I'm done with that type of situation. I'm finally, you know, going to check in with my other options. And then here the ex comes in going, hey, I'm back. The Queen of Pentacles here, though, clarifying, is very nurturing, maternal, paternal energy. So I think that your focus is going to be a lot on kids or family or fur babies, whatever it is for you. This is also focusing on people who reciprocate the energies that you deserve and want in your life, because the Queen of Pentacles is wise and has learned from mistakes and, you know, gives to others as is, you know, given to this person. So the Page of Wands, like I said, is somebody circling back around. Again, I feel like there's a lot of people involved here, Sagittarius. Not a lot, so cross-watchers, don't freak out. It's not like, you know, they're dating 10 people and have 10 exes. It's just, I feel like there's somebody new trying to come in, somebody, a friend that maybe wants more, and then like an ex trying to come back. It can also apply to like family or whatnot, but you have the Tower here. So one of the scenarios is going to come crashing down. One of the scenarios is going to unfold and show itself. Just like I said with the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower is a dissolution. It's a destruction of something. So either the ex coming back is just going to be a momentary like blip of, hey, how you doing? But they don't step up to the plate, or, you know, the ex obliterates this new person coming in because that connection's still strong there, and you're wanting to circle back and see what the ex has to say. So, all right, here you have the Gentleman, which is pride. If it's upright, it's this side, and it's pride. So whatever decision you make, feel proud of, because I feel like some of you maybe get slack from your family. They're like, what are you doing? I can't believe you would talk to this person again. Or friends, why would you even give this person another chance? But you need to do what's best for you. You need to start listening, like take pride in your decisions. The decisions aren't for anybody else but you. We're all going to make mistakes. We all circle back sometimes. It happens, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But make sure you make the decisions with the feeling of pride that I know what I'm doing. I know what's good for my life. Now you have Sir Norval Munchington, escape the ordinary. So I like that for you guys. Escape the ordinary. I think you have a lot going on, so I don't think that's going to be difficult to do. All right, Sag, I will see you guys in February. Bye.